Alright, I think we are live. Let's see. I'm gonna just give it a second to make sure. Still very new at YouTube, so I don't know how other people do the beginnings of these streams. It seems very ambiguous whether you're actually streaming or not. But I think we're good to go now. I am logging my keystrokes in the bottom left corner if you're curious what I'm doing. And I actually have on the side like a little chat window up so I can actually see what people are saying now. And yeah, today it's just more practice, just trying to have some fun and learn how to model characters better. And actually, yesterday I found this artist, Cesar Palizer. Sorry if I messed up the pronunciation. Really amazing 3D art, and I was super inspired by it and wanted to kind of see what I could learn on the stream and practice some techniques. So you can see this artist is like really good at characters. I love kind of the minimalism with just like a pill shape for the body or the sphere for the body for this other character. There's a lot of nice things that they're doing. One thing that I thought was really nice is these little hands that they have. Especially here, this is a really good view of it. Sometimes in his work you'll see that he doesn't mind the kind of just like straight intersecting geometry, and it actually looks really nice. But in his latest work you kind of see these really nice fingers, and I want to see if I can kind of model something like that, figure out how we would go about modeling something like that. And I mean, from a character standpoint, you kind of see he uses the same hand in lots of different models. So I bet he kind of uses it like, excuse me, like a Lego set where he kind of made one hand, rigged it, and now he can just like churn out dozens or hundreds of characters just from having that one asset. And then yeah, the hair that he does is also really nice. Reminds me of some of the kind of like Playmobil toys. In general, I think like hands, hair, and face can be kind of the most challenging things to model. So it's good just to practice it. I love the kind of green skin color on this guy. And yeah, like I talk about in my other streams, like when I say I'm trying to be inspired and learn something, I'm not actually going to copy any of these characters. I'm kind of just like focusing on little things that I haven't tried before and see if I can find a method to do something similar or capture part of the essence and put it into my own character. I think one of the things with his work is he has a few signatures. One is kind of these long necks. So I'm going to avoid doing a long neck, but you see like a lot of them are like disproportionate in length. I guess some of them are just more standard, but it is a common theme that I'm seeing. He also has the coolest logo I've ever seen. I love that one. Okay, so let's just get into it. I think first off, I want to just play around with this hand a little bit, see if I can get something like that. I'm not 100% sure how to do it. This is kind of like the best hand I've made before. Obviously, it's not stylized as much. It's still low poly, but it's got like 5 proper fingers. I think here we have, I guess he has 5 too, but they're more cylinderish. And you know, honestly, I followed just like some YouTube tutorial to make this hand, and when I make a lot of characters now, and if I need like a proper hand, I just literally chop this off and I put it in, and then I basically sew or merge the edge vertices back together. Oh, cool, yeah, I just saw the comment. Would be cool to learn that shading too. Yeah, this shading is actually really easy. This is basically with any unbiased real-time renderer, so basically Octane, Redshift, Cycles. This is kind of like this plastic toy render. I guess there's a few different ones in here. This one's more tuned, but this is just really, I think, it's just global illumination and some subsurface scattering to create those tones. But yeah, let's definitely do that as well. Some nice things are, you see these lines on the arm and these eyes, so, and also the mouth. So I was actually looking at this, and because oftentimes he's doing stills. I mean, he also has some videos, but I could imagine that sometimes he just draws on top of the frame. You could also create like a little cylinder mesh and draw on a separate thing, or you could do like a more custom shader, UV, and draw on the actual mesh, so then there's just like one clean mesh. The eyes are particularly interesting, especially like this little area here is interesting to look at because I feel like the mouth shading doesn't match the shading of the arms and the head. So it's either composited on, it's using kind of like composite tags so that it uses different lighting, or it's an emissive material. And the eyes are also kind of interesting because they look a little 3D. I sometimes think that he might have just like gone in Photoshop and just like added a little shadow afterwards on here, and it's really just drawn on. Or but then you also see this one. This one does look more 3D. Let's see if I can zoom in at all. Oh god. Let's see if I could drag these two in a new tab. So when I look at this, like it could be like just faked with Photoshop after. Doing like these cutout, like in a perfect sphere, doing these eyeball cutouts can create really nasty geometry, which can often sometimes screw up some of your normals. Yeah, we can also take a look at that, see what we can do. And oh, where are we? Oh, yeah, let's look at this face also. I also do really love like just doing the intersecting geometry rather than the smooth one. They both are very graphic, especially usually when you see these soft like cartoony hands, they don't really keep the full capsule which the arm protrudes from. And let's go back to his work. Here it is. I'll show one more and then we'll move on. Yeah, also you can kind of see sometimes he just doesn't do hands at all. It's just super abstract with just like a nub at the end. So I think that's kind of like, if we end up failing at making a decent hand, we can just make it super abstract like the other ones. And yeah, this logo is definitely an homage to that painting by Rene Magritte. All right, let's get into it. Enough talking, right? Okay, so I'm gonna just try a few things. So, because I actually want to have something done by the next hour, I'm gonna start with some more detail in terms of me explaining what I'm doing, and then I'm gonna probably get more into a flow. So like by default, you might think, oh, like to do the capsule, I can just make a cylinder and then do something like this. I actually feel like this is probably the wrong approach. I generally, at least when box modeling, I like to start with a cube, and then I just add a subdivision modifier onto it. In general, I think it gives more uniform polygons to deal with. So like here you have like these super thinly sliced polygons. I mean, you could just like take two out, but I think this is actually more helpful. So you see when it's more subdivided. And it's still a sphere, so I'll just apply this so it's flattened, and then delete these vertices. And then obviously, like if I just extrude this down, now I have kind of that capsule shape. Now let's try, again, this could be like a huge failure, but let's give it a shot. So, just thinking about where the fingers will be. If like this is a thumb, and these are the four fingers, I guess maybe this would be the thumb. Oh. Something like that. I guess let's just try it. So I'm going to extrude. I think I might just extrude. Let's just extrude it. Let's see what it's like. Okay. I'm going to add a subdivision on this. What I'm really looking for is kind of like how it joins with the mesh. See, because later on we can always make this like a proper cylinder. But obviously like this one looks, I think, pretty good, and we can play with it well. But these look pretty awful. Let me dissolve this. I think this thumb looks perfect, but this looks pretty bad. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna try something else. So one reason it could look bad is because there's no gaps. So I'm gonna just kind of make some gaps between each of the planned fingers there. The problem with subdividing this later is you're going to end up having more geometry even like over here. So I actually think that's the wrong approach. Just to show you what I'm talking about. If I extrude this now and then do the subdivide, we still need to subdivide across the x-axis. But yeah, then you get like these funny like kind of like ribbing, because there's just more geometry over here, and as the mesh gets bigger you can start to see it even more. So let's go back again. And yeah, the other way to do is just like sculpt it in clay mode and then re-topologize it. But I want to still see if we could just do it with box modeling. So I feel like maybe if we just like cut a ring around it, let's see how that turns out. And polygon wise, this isn't the best at the moment, but we can deal with that later. So then it starts to look how we'd want. I'm just thinking proportion wise, if this finger's too small. Maybe something like this will work. I mean, obviously the finger's not tall enough. Okay, well, I think we can maybe try and do something like this. I'm gonna just put it on the side for now. And we're in object mode. I think we're gonna just start with kind of like, what does this character look like? Should be a little easier, and then we can figure out how we want it to look. Okay, so I think this will be the body. Oh, I'm trying to duplicate this. This will be the head. Let's just do a torus for the neck. I want to see also, yeah, I see a lot of artists do this in terms of just the sphere for the body, and they just cut it in half. Kind of Disney-esque if you look at like the old Mickey Mouses. Mickey Mouses. Don't know if that should be singular or plural. Okay, and then we'll do the legs. Oh, and if you were watching any of my other live streams, I was having issues with mirroring and cylinders, so I'll just tell you what the solve was for that. So before I was just like cutting in half, and then I clicked mirror, and I'm like, why doesn't it work? It should be working. And it's the same issue with like scale and beveling. So like in your object tab here, you see like the scale, or sorry, the rotation. It's not zeroed out, so like the pivot point in which it's mirroring is, if it makes any sense, I'll just zero this out. So it's actually trying to mirror this right half onto this left half. So if I actually delete some of this, you'll see, oh, there's still geometry because it's being mirrored. So the only way to get this to mirror to this side would be to Control A and apply the rotation. Apply rotation, and then this is zeroed out, and now it's mirroring on this axis. I think it would have also worked if I just changed the, yeah, I could have just done this before without flattening out the rotation, but in general I just like to keep this default so I can flow fast, so I prefer to just do Control A and flatten out the rotation. Okay. And this one I will mirror for the legs. Alright, I think we're going to eventually make those arms smaller. Maybe this can be the shirt that attaches. And also for the body, I want to do that extrude. So you have the shirt versus the body. And the normals are getting a little funky. See, this is also like a weird Blender thing you have to do. It doesn't come with like a default Phong tag like Cinema, so you always need to click Auto Smooth and choose the Phong angle that you want it to be calculated on. Same with actually all cylinders have that issue. All right. I'm gonna just take a sip of water. So I think we're well on our way. Let's kind of block out the rest of the face, the rest of the face and arms and feet, and then we can work specifically on some detailing in the face and the hands, which is, I think, the most tricky part about this whole thing. So I'm gonna just name some of these layers by clicking F2. Yeah, I guess I'll call these arms. And it's kind of weird that clicking inset would do that. Let's see. Snap to vertex. This is one of my favorite things about Blender, which Cinema doesn't have. You can Maya also has this, but you can just move the mouse and it'll snap to whatever vertex you want, and I'm constraining it to the x-axis right now. So even though my inset tool is having some problems, I bet it's because of the scale of the thing, but oh well. Snapping is still on. Alright, there we have our arm. I guess this is also problematic because if we are doing the box modeling technique, I should do this with a box instead of a sphere. Now this thing's huge. Okay. Let me just get the feet on, and then the arms, I think, yeah, are going to be the most challenging. Feet. I'm going to look at this. We got like peg legs and then some tiny feet. What else do we have? Little boots. Again, with box modeling, like starting with a cylinder is not the best. So there's kind of, these are adorable. Just looking at clothing style. Maybe we can do our unique clothing style also. So yeah, we could either box model this leg or just do box model the feet. For now, I'm going to just box model the feet. And let's mirror this. Subdivision. Okay. I'll subdivide the bottom later so that the whole sole is evenly distributed. So we might do another here. That obviously looks bad. Let's see. It seems like there's an extra geometry there. Let's see if undo, fix that. I guess the extrude created multiple points. Let's clean up, merge by distance. Alright, that's a lot better. We can add this all. When box modeling, I actually prefer to shade flat so I can kind of see where the topology is working or not working, or bunching up. I think I want this to be a little bigger. If we really want it flat at the bottom, we could add another edge loop. I think something like that's fine. Thinking about how long we can make these legs. Okay, we'll keep it shorter for now. Okay, so then let's do a little bit of the head. I thought the capsule hair was fun. I don't want to rip off anyone and just like straight up copy, so I'm gonna try a completely different hairstyle with capsules. And this might be something we want to do. Sorry, that we want to do. Yeah, Control A scale, flatten that for the bevel. This might be something. Sorry, yeah, I was trying to say something that I forgot. This might be something we want to do when we get into rendering, because that's when we're going to be able to see if it's working or not. We could turn this guy into like a punk. Maybe we'll make him wear a CBGB's t-shirt. CBGB's. I remember being a kid in New York City, and I had a fake ID, and it got taken away from me at CBGB's. So I don't know. I think I've done a few punk characters before, and I always put them in a CBGB shirt. That's kind of interesting. Not purposefully, but I guess I had rotated some of them before in the Z and X axis, so they don't look perfectly uniform, and I actually kind of like that. And I'm gonna just pull some of these down. We're gonna do in the local axis, so I can keep that nice rotation that we got by accident. I think for my next stream, if you're interested, I'm gonna do some AR concepts, kind of show you the whole workflow for that, and some of my thinking behind it. Hopefully that'll be fun. Kind of thinking I'll do, let's say, sets of 3 for everything. So like 3 abstract characters, 3 AR concepts, and like 3 programming things. I always worry that programming is like the most boring thing ever to watch on a live stream. Okay, so we got some hair. I think we want some ears too. Again, in general, I don't like using spheres or even cylinders for modeling, especially box modeling. So, I mean, it's in the name box modeling. So I'm going to create a box. Subdivide. I usually start lowish poly like this. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 3 is way too much. So I'm going to keep it at 2 and just apply this. And if I shade smooth, it looks like a sphere, and I could add subdivision on it later. Give me 1 second while I text someone, text message. Okay, let's go. Okay, so some of the nice things about this is now I can easily create a ear. And another thing I love about Blender is if you press G twice for move, it moves along the face. Something like that. Subdivide it so we can see what's going on. That looks pretty good to me. We do have some pinching in terms of topology here, but it's not bad, and we're going to be adding some stuff to the face as well. I'm going to just mirror this. There we go. So I'm debating right now if the nose should just be something like this. And that's kind of cool. Then the eyes is the big question mark, as we talked about before. But let's try and make them 3D and see how it goes. Actually, just gonna do this, inset them. Oops, I clicked H by mistake. Just double tapping G to move along the face to get that outline we would like. Sometimes I also just like duplicate this in case I want to go back later. It's easier than pressing Control Z a million times. We put 3 sub Ds on it. It looks pretty good. It isn't a perfect circle. Feels like the edges come out a little bit, so I might try and change that. Again, after I extrude, it becomes a little bit harder because the double G tap. I don't think, yeah, because they all have their respective faces. So I might actually just go back for a minute. It's easy to extrude. Let's see, maybe we can preview that shape just in the topology. Yeah, if you do a lot of 3D modeling and you have a better way, let me know. Yeah, again, because this is just like me playing around. I'm not using this for anything besides learning new techniques. I'm not, I think I'm going to just settle on it not being a perfect circle. All right. Now let's also do a mouth. I'm going to again do the same thing I did before, which is inset. I'm going to bring this down a lot. And you see there is kind of like a topology issue, so I'm going to dissolve these edges. I'm actually going to dissolve these edges. Okay. I'm going to snap this to an edge. Okay, let's snap to edge. Snap into that edge. Oh, sorry, now I have like multiple faces that are blocking our view. It's hard to tell. Okay, it's still selected. Then snap to edge should work right here. Oh, okay, cool. So we snap that to the edge. Because eventually I basically want to delete this, dissolve edge, delete edge. And we're gonna, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna move this point there. Yeah, I'm sure a more experienced modeler could do this way quicker than me, but for me, I'm just going slow and steady. So basically the goal here is to just pull this one here and delete this edge. Let's see. That edge is kind of out here. Okay, let's just delete this edge. Take this point and snap it. I guess we could snap it to vertice. Okay. And it's too far in, so something like that. I'm going to turn off the mirror so we can see if we have any other issues. There is something going on here which makes me think, yeah, there's multiple points. I think we can do cleanup, merge by distance. That did not work, so I'll just move that out of the way and then delete this. Vertice. Okay, that looks better. Turn the mirroring back on. Okay. So now we just figure out how big we want this mouth. There's also a lot of weird pinching here that we're going to try and clean up. I actually think we might want this up here. Something like that. Okay, the pinching's much better now that I've gave this a bit of space, I can even move that a little bit. Okay. So obviously I'll clean up this thing, but I'm just looking, is the mouth too wide or is it good? I feel like it's a little wide. Bring this in. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Blender has a ton of shortcuts, and sometimes, or actually all the time, you see I'm clicking the wrong ones because they're all so close to each other. So right now the mouth is like going up in the face. I think that doesn't fully make sense, so something like that is a lot better. We can just add an edge loop here. Kind of like a little bit of rounding since it is a lip. I think we'll just keep the inside soft. Cool. Okay. Let's add a mouth. I mean, because he's a punk, maybe like him sticking his tongue out will be kind of fun. Be cool if he was winking too, but let's start with the tongue. And we'll do subdivision. That's what I'm looking for. And again, like with all the box modeling, I always delete half and do mirroring. Okay. So now we have a tongue. I think we kind of want it. He looks like he's at the doctor's office right now, so we need to bend it a bit. Okay. I was debating if I should also put like a dimple line in the tongue. But I think let's just keep it super minimal. Or I should say super abstract. Now, I'm probably going to just do this manually, I think. Debating if I like that kind of hard edge. I think I'll keep a hard edge. I could always just dissolve this edge later if I want it to be more rounded. But I feel like we have a bunch of like little hard edges and hard transition points, so I think it might be fine from a visual consistency standpoint. And then let's add some teeth, at least a top row of teeth, maybe the bottom too. So there's a few ways of doing teeth. I usually just do like an individual tooth like this in mirror, subdivide a mirror and just like do each individual tooth. But I think for the sake of this style, we're going to subdivide. We're just gonna keep one row. Kind of like he's got, oh, that's kind of cool. What if we put braces on him? Modify, I think braces will be nice. Yeah, a while ago I took some character design courses online and some just like concept art courses. And like one of the big things that they teach you in that is to mix up areas of high detail and low detail. So if everything's just like low detail, it can feel kind of blah, so you need to add like little bits of detail, kind of like the juxtaposition of elements breathing and then feeling a little more refined or realistic, because our world is filled with detail. Oh. Shade smooth. That's cool. Wondering if we want to have a bottom row too. 180. Let's see. I think that might help. Maybe not. I have no idea. I guess we'll find out when we're rendering. I also feel like his mouth should be more open if he's sticking out his tongue. And let's just start naming some of these things. Tongue. It's 11:50 p.m. I have to finish this guy soon. Teeth. Nose. Hair. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Okay, so I'm gonna hide the tongue, hide teeth. There's other teeth. I called this tongue too. Teeth, top. Top, teeth, bottom. Okay. So yeah, since he's now a punk dude, we're gonna, I think, open his mouth a little bit. I think that's still pretty good. Tongue. Okay. Oh, sorry, messed up the camera. That's the other thing I need to look up that I never bothered to, is like how to center the camera again on whatever mesh you're focused on. In cinema, you just press S and you can get the camera back, but I haven't looked up the shortcut yet for Blender. You know, we could potentially add some earrings, like a bunch of piercings. That could be cool too. Again, like I said, with the detail and non-detail, we don't want to add too much, or it's gonna start to look a little funny. Okay, this we're gonna do braces. I actually think just straight up cubes is gonna look pretty good. I don't think we need to add subdivision. And I'm gonna mirror. Good old mirror. Oh, come on. And again, I'm just eyeballing this, but okay. Braces might be a little weird, but whatever. I'm also thinking now he's gonna wear some shorts. Face is almost done. Let's name this head. What else do we have unnamed? What is this thing? Oh, that's our dupe. This is our feet. Our shoes. There's kind of those black boots that some, I guess I shouldn't stereotype punks, but some punks wear. Or at least when I grew up, they were. And, okay. What else? I was gonna add, oh yeah, the eyeball. So I'm actually gonna duplicate this. Take this, invert the selection, which I think is just Control I, yeah. Delete all these faces. Now I have this eyeball which conforms to the normals. I'm gonna name it eyes. Yeah, I think my main thing is here, I kind of want to just keep all those normals. So doing the double G movement is really nice. So it's going to just sit on the surface, and I'm sure there's better ways to like stick things to other things normals, and I think there's like a shrink wrap tool in Blender, but I haven't done it that much, and I'm trying to avoid looking up tutorials while streaming. So I'm going to just make do with what I know. And I think we just extrude this eye. And we also want eyebrows. Sub D, actually mirror and then sub D. You always want your mirror to be above or happen before your subdivision. It's pretty good. Shade smooth. Gotta click it first. Get up the subdivision a little. If we want it to be more rounded, we just bring those. That's pretty cool. Okay, I definitely want to finish this in the next 30 minutes. For visibility, I'm thinking about making the earrings kind of big, Should also be wearing gauges, which could be kind of fun. I think gauges are a little more popular than like earrings for punks these days. Again, if you're a punk, I hope I'm not offending you with all my stereotypes. Punks like to 3D model too, right? Yeah, I think that's gonna be better. So we could actually punch a hole straight through this ear if we want also. But I think kind of like it's super cartoony, so I think I'm fine with just this right now. I mean, we could even just bring this in to where the skin is, and people don't even know. It will paint the inside of the gauge to be skin color. People will think there is an actual hole. But there won't be. Like with 3D, you could always be tweaking and have an endless amount of updates. But yeah, I think that's close enough. Okay. Alright, let's do this. So we have the arms. Let's do the arms. I think that's kind of the thing I've been trying to avoid this whole time. I think his face looks pretty good. Honestly, just for the sake of time, I mean, I showed you a little bit the technique here, and I think this would work. It just would take like a lot of nudging. But like if I were to have followed through with this, I basically just, you know, cut an outline for each finger. So then the subdivision has something to go through. I wouldn't cut it like I just did there. I'm just showing for example. Because then when you extrude these out, you won't have the same issue we were having earlier, where the base looks a little bit better. But for the sake of time, I'm going to just make cylinder hands. I might just throw some cylinders on his fingers like we did with here. And part of the thing is, if you're just making a still image, like I would just pose the mesh myself. If I'm making it for a game, I always want it in T-pose because then I can rig it. So I'm gonna do the T-pose and then I'm gonna save a new one and then really like mess with the mesh so that we can pose it however we want. Okay. So yeah, we just want to bevel this. I'm gonna do Control A, all transforms. Control B, something like that. I don't want to have like either ripped jeans or like ripped shorts. I guess let's start to put some materials on him. So this is the Eevee render. Just throw a few lights so we can kind of get a sense of where it's headed. Alright, we'll call it skin. Kind of really love the green character. That was it. Cesar did. So I'm tempted to do green. We could also do like a skin tone, which is usually within like this range, and you know, you choose your levels. But I generally always like just doing like yellow or some different color character. I think part of it is just like loving The Simpsons, where all the characters are yellow. I think maybe I'll do green today. And we could, if we want, we could add some subsurface. Let's see. Because then we get that kind of like final toy feel. And honestly, I haven't played with this enough to know exactly which values to set. But you can kind of see what happens. Definitely adds realism to it, even though it's still running in real time, which is really nice. Okay, skin. Let's do, what do we want for a shirt color? Thinking the shirt will be red and the pants will be black. I'm thinking there's the classic CBGB shirts would be like red and black and white. 0.5. This collar can be red too. And then okay. I just want to grab this stuff. Okay. I think I grabbed it, so I'm going to add a new material. Shirt, assign. Now we want to do the pants, which is going to be black. Or let's just call it pants. Now that I look at it, I feel like maybe we should have split the shirt to go a little bit further down. Seems like it's a little bit of a high shirt, but oh well. We'll see if it needs to be updated or not. It's cool. The eyes will definitely be white. Oh, what did I just do? Okay. I feel like 0.5 is kind of right for our scale and material. So let's make this eye color, or let's start with pupil. Actually, eye color, because I think we're going to use the same black for I think we need to inset this. We'll call this pants. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Okay. I think I'm going to duplicate this eyeball. I think that's pretty good. You know, punks usually put their hair color to be, I don't know, like green, but I think because his skin is green, maybe just like a normal color would be fun. Subsurface is basically the color that's going to shine through a material. Hair. Some little dots could also be nice. Like some stubble around the head. So we're gonna make, I think I'm gonna just make this black. And for this, I'm gonna make that the skin color. Actually, I feel like the gauge needs to be thicker. Oh, it's not, I just remembered it gauges a hole through the ear, so it doesn't make sense for the skin color to be shown. Okay, well, we'll figure that out later. I actually think the pupils should be just straight black, so I'm going to make a new pupil color. That's a little better. And these, let's make a unique one too. Earrings. So let's take the head, add a boolean, okay, that's gonna be better. So now we actually have a hole in his ear. Where is it? Delete face, delete face. Bridge, edge loops, there we go. And then dissolve edges. And then we can easily scale this up if we want. Yeah, something like that I think is better. Okay, the nose is the same. And then teeth. Actually, let's do the tongue. I think the tongue will be also a green. And we kind of want the inside of the mouth to be darker also. It's kind of like a coloring book. 0.5 teeth. Kind of debating these braces, but let's do black braces. I feel like a lot of my problem with it is I think if someone sees the image, it may not read as, oh, that's braces. And basically, I don't want to have something that distracts them because they don't know what it is. Braces metal. Let's try that. All right, we're almost ready. He's almost done. We're gonna do some fingers just with cylinders. All right, I think something like that is good. I mean, the thumb might be, excuse me, the thumb might be a little small. Pinky, but we'll tweak that when we're posing. Oh, I just realized these aren't mirrored. I think the simplest way to just get these going might be just to redo it. Cylinder, okay. Something like that. Skin, where is that skin? Great. Let's mirror it before I forget this is why we're redoing it. Wow, those look really bad. I think they're just way too long. Something like that is a little better. Also wonder if I need to have 5 fingers instead of 4. This is definitely not the best way to do this, but trying to go fast. Okay, we'll figure out the fingers when we're posing them. And okay, we just need to do the shoes. I think I'm gonna also do a red, but like a darker red. Something like that. Shoe solve. Sign. Wonder if I want a little more geometry here. If I wanted, I could make some ribbing also on the bottom, which I'm debating. Kind of like that, but honestly, no one's gonna see the bottom of this because it's just playing around. I feel like I need to have some shoelaces though. So let's add a curve. Bezier. Where'd it go? Let's mirror. Alright, I think I just need to extrude that over here. Something like that. Okay. I think something like that is good. It'd be ideal if those were circles though. I think I can do that with a circle. Oh no. Select the shoe. Do a circle. I think it is a circle now. Is it? No. Oh, because it's tapering. Okay, that's the taper. I think bevel's also wrong though. Maybe it is bevel. Let's see. Just shrinking the circle right now. Okay, I guess it is bevel. Cool. And let's see. Resolution. Think of, oh, that's of the circle. Yeah, we can do that. Because I'm new with Blender, I always forget. Oh, here it is. Preview resolution. Just upping the resolution of that spline. Okay. Not the best shoelace, but again, I think it'll do. The only last thing I wanted to do before posing was to add a CBGB's logo on him, but I'm wondering if that's a little too much since I think this stream's been going for a while now. We'll see if we can do it quick. If not, CBGBTR logo. Something like this. And we'll do everyday's. Save images. Everyday. Okay. Let's see if we can first off just get it onto a plane. We're going to go into shading. And I'm going to turn on Node Wrangler because I think it might not be on. Node Wrangler. Okay. So we want an image texture. Let's open up that logo. Go to transparent. Is that the right one? Transparent. Okay. So we want to be transparent based on the color. Let's see what's going on. And we need to say linear. In this material, I need to. Oh, because it's. Blend mode, alpha blend. Okay, so it's kind of working. Let's do an invert, and we'll make this black. Maybe up the specularity. I do know there's like some nice tutorials to figure out. None. To figure out how to like put decals on things, but let's see if this works. Shrink wrap onto the body. Let's just add a bunch of geometry. That really didn't work. Okay, let's duplicate this. Let's scale it up just barely. And I'm gonna put this material on it. T-shirt logo. Kind of want it on the shirt over here. So I'll do that and delete these faces. And really I just need to UV project this. I'll keep that out for now, because I also need to hide it from the rendering or else it's going to appear later. Okay, so this is the potential logo for the shirt. UV editing, select it all, project from view, does this have the right material? CBGB logo. Oh, there we go. There we go. So now we need that one. Again, this is super hacky, but I don't have that much time left. This is supposed to be just a little morning warm-up for fun. Let me see in shading if I can do clip. So clip, what else? Extend. Okay, I think that's kind of working now. There we go. I don't know if it's even good. All right, let's just delete that. I think we're good with this character. And yeah, there could be, it would be fun to do some stuff with the leg, like a hole in the pants. Just gonna add some geo. I don't want it to be on both legs. Okay, so I'm gonna apply the mirroring, and then just on this leg, I'll do the exact same thing I just did. I feel like these streams might be getting a little too long. Something like that. This may not end up working, but I figure I would try. It is kind of cool. I do find it a bit distracting just because of the color contrast and the value contrast. So if I were to do this, I feel like I need to like really rip up both legs in terms of the jeans. And is it worth it? I do not know. Let's extrude that out. Assign. Okay, I sadly think it looks cool, and I have to do it over here too. I think I'm gonna do a few rips. And this part of 3D modeling is all about patience, really. Should really put on some music. I think I might end the rip over here. Yeah, because I'm moving along the normal, there's no issues with the smoothness of the leg. Okay, I think that's good. Let's put the geo in for the rip. It looks pretty cool. Alright, I'm going to do one really tiny rip over here. Oh. Okay. Sign. I think with this one we should fix this also. Cool. I think we should put on some punk music. Let's see if we can search punk music, see what we get.
This year, Infinity celebrates 30 years and 30 winters with exceptional...
Okay. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with this guy. Boy, I'm thinking about the hair a little bit. Just because, like, from a detail standpoint, it felt a little small. Okay. Maybe this one. I don't think we're really going to see the back of his head, but I feel like it should taper off a little bit in terms of size. Okay. Okay, I think we are pretty much there. I do think his body would look a little better if the shirt was like one polygon lower. But I think this is good enough for now. I think we learned a lot. And save as. So I'm going to do character posed. See if I can quickly pose him. Cube. This is just a quick way to do a background. Let's do BG. Let me see if this works. Diffuse. Oh. Diffuse. Color ramp. That is an error. I'm gonna just quickly do tune shader blender. See what they got. Dot product of the normal and the light vector. Okay, let's do this one. Geometry. And lamp data, which I don't know if it exists in 2.81. I don't think it does. Light path. That's not right. Okay, let's see if there's another. It's so small and hard to see. Dot product between. Let's see this. That's the same one we just saw. Lamp data, Blender 2.8. This is 2.79. Cycles replaces node for the BL lamp data node. Let me see. Tune shader blender 2.8. 0.8. Diffuse, that's what oh, to shader RGB, that's what I was doing wrong before. Shader RGB. Is that what I was doing wrong? Diffused? Oh, so I need to put that here. Well, I've done this a handful of times, so. Okay, well, I think that's what it is. I think we'll do something like that. Okay. We'll do something like that. I think we need to turn off some of the shadows. That one might be the one we actually want. Okay. And this is character pose, so we can do whatever we want with this one. So to pose it, I'm going to just add a bunch of geo, since we're not doing the proper rigging route today. Oh, that is mirrored, okay. And I'll just do the same with the fingers. Have way too much finger stuff in there, like deep into the cylinder, which we don't need, but is fine. Oh, and I also want the legs to have a lot more geo. And again, this is way overkill, but in terms of the amount of geo I'm putting, I would never do this for a real asset that I'm gonna make interactive. Okay, but there we go. And where's the background? I'm gonna just hide the background for a minute. Okay, BG. Okay, so I kind of want him in a rock and roll pose. So I'm gonna go into sculpting. Usually, oh, there we go. All the sculpting tools. That's what I was hoping for. So we're doing the arms. I think they're still mirrored, so I'm gonna apply the mirror. So now they're unique. And some of the normals got messed up, at least it looked like they did. I guess only in sculpting they looked messed up. Okay, so this is the new tool pose that I'm going to be using. And wonder why the fingers don't move with it. Oh, because the fingers are a different object. Okay. Okay. I also need geometry in here. Okay, back to sculpting, pose tool, which basically lets you pose without rigging. Oh, I don't want both sides again. Okay. So the one hand I think is gonna do like rock and roll, 2 fingers in the air type thing. We'll take care of those fingers in a minute. Also thinking he needs to go out a little bit. Oh, I switched tools for a minute. Okay. Because I pressed G by mistake. Okay, I think that's good for one arm. Wonder if both arms should be up. Keep pressing G by mistake. I'm gonna just save. So one arm could be down. I feel like it's weird if like one arm's down and one arm's up. Maybe he's like really dancing to the music. Thinking one leg in the air as well. Let's go to the legs. If I name them, here they are. So I haven't fully figured out. Sometimes I feel like I have to go between sculpting and I also wonder how to like parent it or merge them so it affects all the meshes at the same time. Let's try join and see. Oh god, that's kind of hilarious. Okay. Let's just do this one. Model, sculpt. Okay. Some weird twisting going on. Oh, I'm going to apply that. Okay. Oh, I don't want to apply this up D. Let's just hide all this. Okay, that's all hidden. And now I want to take this tool, kind of actually thinking of rotating that a little. Then I could take this. I think I want a different curve, like a sphere. Inverse squared. Smooth, let's try that. Okay. Do any of these have a... What's it say? Transform curve into mesh in order to apply constructive modifiers. Maybe I'll just delete that. Duplicate it. Okay. Actually, I think that's kind of fine, even though it didn't exactly do what I was trying to do originally. I thought hiding this would let me do whatever I want without affecting the other one. Yeah, for some reason hiding it and doing the move stuff isn't working. Another thing to check out later. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Now let's just get the fingers there. Let's apply that. I think just doing each finger individually would be easier. This guy looks kind of cool as is, even without fingers. Can't believe it's 1 o'clock already. Sorry if this stream is way longer than expected. Someone's in the way now. Okay. I think a little bit of movement with the eyes helps. Feels like I could just keep fiddling with these things forever. And that's a bad sign. Subsurface. Let's see if I can find a guitar amp real quick. Price 0. IWO. I don't know what that file format is. Let's see if we can just do one super quick. Okay, where is that? Take this. Let's add a second one down here. I guess usually the smaller thing is at the, yeah. Okay. And do Boolean, 2 Booleans. Okay. I think a prop might help, but we'll see. that's why. All right. Because the booleans need to be parented also. Let's see if that works now. There we go. Okay. All right, I think we're about done. Just trying to figure out if these things help. Let's frame a shot. Sorry, this was such a long stream. It's probably stops being useful if it ends up being too long. Set camera, our camera. All right, I think that's going to be it for today. Cool. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun. And I think next week I'm going to stream making a AR concept. Have a good one.